Hey, all you letters of the alphabet. This is Caden Smith here, your co-host for Conversation Z. I'm here with my co-hosts, Colby Davis,
Howdy.
Peyton Blake,
How's it going, guys?
and special guest Garrett Britton.
Hey.
Let's get right into it. We're just going to go straight into sports. Colby and Peyton and Garrett, you guys have got some stuff for us.
All right. I'd just like to start off with probably the biggest news in the NFL today is that the Texans franchise one of their defensive players, Jadeveon Clowney, for a $15.967 million contract. Do you think that's good or bad for the Texans?
I think it's good because if they didn't, they would be losing him in free agency, and it would have left a lot of cap space. But franchising him, you can get a couple players through the trade deadline, so that's pretty huge for the Texans. That's actually a win for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a great win. I think he's awesome to complement J.J. Watt on that defense. Especially, they had such a great year last year. And I know Deshaun Watson deserves a lot of credit for that, but J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney really did just solidify that defense. They're the anchors to that crew.
I do think they're going to trade him, though, most likely.
You still think they'll
I think
trade
they're
him?
going to trade him because they could. I mean, they already have J.J. Watt, and I think they just want some young blood on there. And Clowney's just too expensive right now to keep, in my opinion. What do you think, Garrett?
I think that they're going to keep him. He's such a good defensive player that in the playoffs is someone you need. He can definitely get to the quarterback with J.J. Watt. He complements him perfectly, like Colby said. So I think they might keep him more focused on the offense in this combine, in the draft, just to kind of give another push for this playoffs.
Okay.
Well, who do you know? You said they might trade him. Maybe they're one of those three teams.
Colts. Well, if they were to trade him, I think the Colts. The Colts could definitely use somebody at the linebacker position.
I was thinking more Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
Because there are three teams that they haven't been named. They've been rumored to be very interested in Antonio Brown. And that might be a good player for a player deal.
Actually, yeah, because they could use another wide receiver like that.
Yeah.
I could understand that. That'd be okay with me.
So, maybe Antonio Brown's headed to Houston. We don't know.
And then T.J. Watt would have Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
So it's one Watt to another.
Can go from one Watt to the other. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, today it's been lingering out there the past few days. Nick Foles is rumored to be as good as gone to Jacksonville to head play for the Jaguars.
It's pretty much almost solidified is what it sounds like. The Jags were favorites to land Kyler Murray, but now it's looking like the Cardinals might take him in the first round pick of the draft. And so if the Jags go for Nick Foles, they have other positions they could fill. I mean, they have O-line, tight end, and wide receiver as needs for this coming year. And I think they're going to try to go for an O-line first round and tight end in the second. So we'll see. Okay.
Yeah. I think they'll part with Blake Bortles as well. I know they signed him this last offseason.
Yeah.
Which kind of left everybody questioning because during that playoff run when they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship.
We'll see who wins that battle. I think they're going to battle it out for the year. And
you think they'll keep Bortles?
I think they'll keep him if it's a close battle, but I honestly think they're just going to drop him.
I think they should just waive him, get him out.
He was good 1 year.
He's horrible.
That was
Blake Bortles is not a good quarterback in the NFL. He does not deserve to start.
No.
Yeah, Nick Foles is worlds ahead. Yeah, since you're talking about Kyler Murray, he was rumored to meet with the Arizona Cardinals. He's very close with Cliff Kingsbury, and
yeah, he is.
It just makes sense for them to draft him.
It makes sense to draft him in a way. They still need to get that defense, and they're looking like they're going to go through a free agency if they do draft and the later rounds if they draft Kyler as the first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean they're probably going to pick up Kyler and then just work out defense and free agency and everything else. So it's kind of looking like it's
I think it'd be awesome if they drafted Kyler Murray. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a great offensive coach, and Kyler Murray under him in the NFL with some great receivers around him.
But do they get rid of Josh Rosen or do they let him battle it out?
No, I'd trade Josh Rosen. Trade Josh Rosen and get yourself a receiver. Someone that Kyler Murray can rely on to kind of ease the stress off of him. I mean, you have a good, solid running back in David Johnson, so that'll automatically take some pressure off of Kyler Murray. But if you get him a solid wide receiver, someone he can rely on, maybe go out and get DeAndre Hopkins from Kansas City or something like that.
Yeah. I would like that. I don't
Maybe
know.
not him.
I don't know
Just-
if Kansas City wants to give him up right now, do they?
No. Just someone solid that's not top tier, that's super expensive, but just give him a solid wide receiver that he can rely on. Because
And you-
Larry Fitzgerald's getting old right now, and the rest of the receivers,
Just are
They're-
okay.
yeah,
I mean, you can find some in the draft though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a stacked defensive class, but there's a lot of wide receivers and
For
tight ends
sure.
in this class. I mean, nobody really else like O linemen or quarterbacks or running backs, but definitely
Mhm.
wide receivers, and that's actually a good position. So they might go for a couple players in the draft.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Well, I think you have something for us on the Olympics coming back to Utah.
Yeah. So the Utah Olympics. Utah might be getting them again. They were in for the 2026, and then they kind of had to pull the bed. They weren't really going to be selected, and now they're selected to do the 2030 Olympics. Them in Denver are the favorites, which there's even been rumors about them doing co-hosting together, which honestly doesn't make sense, but it looks like it's very possible to come back to Utah. I mean, I know a lot of the stadiums have been doing renovations. The University of Utah has been renovating Rice-Eccles a lot, making it a little bit nicer, getting a bigger board, adding more seats and club seats over, I think it was the south end zone. Garrett would know more about that. But they're also doing things to the Maverick Center, adding like better sound systems and stuff like that. So instead of spending a bunch of money on different stadiums, they're spending money on renovating the stadium instead of building new stadiums. And Denver's still having to build a lot. So, I mean, they have Mile High, but that's about it. And the, Nuggets and,
Pepsi Center.
yeah, the Pepsi Center. So they don't have much in the way of
Mm-hmm.
facilities. They just have a lot in the hotel area space and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, Salt Lake would be great fit because we already have all the things that are renovated and they've been kept nice. If you look at all the other countries that have had the Olympics, they haven't really turned out that well. Rio is in a disaster right now.
And same thing with Greece after 2004. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so Bryce Harper just signed with the Phillies last week, and he was rumored to sign with the Giants as well. He was going to sign with there, but something came out on a couple news sites actually today on why he didn't choose San Francisco because of certain reasons. That reason is rumored to be the taxes in California. So in Philadelphia, he has a 3.07% tax rate on his $330 million 13-year contract, and he will take home $187 million of that. So that's still a lot of money, but a lot of that still goes to taxes and other things. In California, this is going to blow your guys' minds away, it's a 13.3% tax rate versus the 3%. So that is huge. He would have took home $161 million, so he would have took home $26 million less. So that's a whole year, because each year he's getting paid $26 million. So that's basically cutting out a whole year of his contract.
Oh. Ouch.
Yeah. So it's kind of a no-brainer why he'd sign with Philly over the Giants.
Nope, that makes sense.
Yeah. If I was in his shoes, I definitely would have chosen to go to Philadelphia. That's crazy. Well,
Also, speaking of which, he's actually his jersey has sold more jerseys ever out of any player in the four major sports in the past 24 hours than any other player. Which
that's
is
awesome.
yeah.
I love Bryce Harper. He's a great guy. It's awesome to see someone with good character doing that well. Caden, I believe you want to take over.
Yeah. So something kind of crazy just happened today. So, as you guys know, if you follow current events, the Mueller investigation, I don't really know how to say his name. It's kind of a weird spelling, but it's coming to a close. A lot of close sources have said it's just starting to wrap up, and they're going to start releasing their final report. And today, what's his name? Chairman Jerry Nadler, the Democrat for New York, the representative for New York, they just served a document request to 81 agencies, entities, and individuals as a part of a new probe into an alleged obstruction of justice / public corruption or other abuses of power by President Trump. Now, they've had, how long did the Mueller investigation for? It went for 2 years.
It's about 2 years, yeah.
They've spent over $25 million on trying to figure out if there's Russian collusion. They turned over every stone. They went through his taxes. They went through literally everything in 2 years, and they didn't find anything that could prove this wrong. Like, if they, honestly, I know they were looking for Russian collusion, but if they found something that was some sort of obstruction of justice, they would have jumped on it. I just don't understand why they keep trying to find something that's obviously not there. After a 2-year investigation, and Michael Cohen, he says there's no evidence of Russian collusion that he has seen. Now, I know a lot of people are controversial on whether or not he's a trusted source, but they haven't found anything in 2 years. I mean, what do you think, Colby? Like, it's stupid. They need to stop spending money on unnecessary things just because they lost the election.
Yeah, I think it's a waste of money. There's nothing they would have been able to find that could overturn it. Even if Michael Cohen thrown in jail for lying to Congress, and he was openly admitting that Trump did not have any Russian involvement, and he was the campaign manager. Was he the campaign
he
manager?
was lawyer.
He was the campaign lawyer?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
one of the
the
lawyers
campaign
for the
lawyer.
campaign.
I thought it was a girl for the campaign.
He's one of them. He was
Oh.
one of the few, part of the legal team.
Yeah, no, he came out. He was involved in Trump's campaign, and even he didn't.
Yeah, there's nothing there. They just need to stop. Also, Nancy Pelosi recently, just in another thing that's happening in current events, Nancy Pelosi and several other Democrats have said if President Trump calls a national emergency for the wall for the border security, then a Democratic president could call a national emergency for gun violence or for I can't even remember anything else. That one is one of the ones that stood out to me. Now, I know this is going to sound a little bit biased, but I am a very pro Second Amendment person. It's just how I've been raised. I feel like we should have the right to be able to carry firearms, and I don't know. It's the Second Amendment in the Constitution. The founding fathers obviously thought it was very important. It was the second thing that they put on the Constitution. That's not a national emergency. That's taking away rights. That's not allowed in national emergencies. If you read through the National Emergency Act, it says that it's not allowed to take away rights. So, honestly, it's kind of a empty promise to say that they can do that, because the borders doing a national emergency for border security to get money for some sort of a barrier and for more border security agents and all the other stuff that part of the money is going towards. It's not inflicting on any rights. It's protecting the country, in my own opinion, also, because there's 700 miles of the border that is unprotected and people can just walk right through. And so I think they need to stop trying to scare President Trump, because it's not going to happen. Even if they did get the presidency, that would not go through the Supreme Court, because it obviously says in the Constitution that we are allowed to carry firearms.
Yeah, if someone calls a national emergency on that, there will be a national emergency, because there'll probably be a civil war at that point. But it's all empty promises coming from everywhere. The national emergency thing's kind of become sort of
it's kind of a joke.
It's
just
definitely a joke.
Call a national emergency if they don't give you what you want, or threaten. It's just, honestly, politics at this point is second grade. Just, my dad could beat up your dad and all this stupid stuff. Sorry, that was really high-pitched. That was stupid. But it's true.
Well,
they're all
while we're
fifth
on
graders.
the mess of politics as it is today, Venezuela is kind of down its own garbage chute right now. The country converted to socialism. They tried
10 years ago,
enforcing
just so you know. 10 years ago. Killed them in 10 years.
Killed them in 10 years.
Take that, AOC.
10 years ago, they converted to socialism, and their famous leader that's supposed to lead them out of it, Nicolas Maduro, is refusing to step down after an election which was believed by many countries to be rigged to come out with the outcome that it has today. So Maduro's still in charge. All the other countries, including the United States, have
What is it?
deemed
12?
him a dictator.
What is it, like 12 other countries?
There's 12 other countries, not
Yeah.
including the U.S.,
Yeah.
have deemed him a dictator and are urging him to step down and let the other candidate take charge in Venezuela. In Venezuela, right now you have people on the streets waiting to get loaves of bread for their family. It is a complete mess. After in the 90s it had such promise until it was leaning towards communism, and then it went to socialism, and it's just not good right now. And Senator Ocasio-Cortez thinks that the United States should pull out and refuse to talk about Nicolas Maduro, and whether he should step down or not. And she just kept pushing that the U.S. should pull out.
Yeah, I think it's not a very good thing to say. I mean, look at what we did. Pretty much any other humanitarian crisis, I feel like she would be okay with it. But since it involves showing that the government system that she promotes, socialism, obviously does not work. It took 10 years to destroy one of the most profitable countries in the world. It was in the top 10 most profitable countries on the globe. 10 years, destroyed it. There's people that are starving to death. And it's just, I feel like her own bias is keeping her away from what she says things that are not moral. It's not, I feel like it's immoral for us to step aside and not help these people that are starving, being shot because they're trying to get food from different people that have dropped off stuff. It's a mess, and I feel like we need to go help out because
I don't think the U.S. should pull out. I think we're the strongest country in the world, so that we can't help other countries and pull them out of messes such as this. But it takes a full-fledged effort from everybody to be able to do this. You can have people fighting here about it when we're trying to help them there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Thanks for tuning in to Conversation Z. Just let us know in any comments or email us. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about, or if you want to maybe talk to me or Colby about some sort of current events or politics. That would be pretty cool. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.